Welcome back everyone. I hope you're all doing it, having a great day. Today I will be sharing my Endgame Sorceress build here with you guys. The builds are built around the ultimate and the primary attack spam. So if you are into some close and personal combat, then you will have a lot of barriers and you can spam your basic primary attack and see the whole screen lighting up with electrocute skills. So starting with what skills we will be using here is going to be, if we click on our skills, the first skill we will be using is going to be the lightning arc lash, our primary. We are not consuming any mana in this build because all of our abilities are cooldown based, and whenever we use a cooldown ability with these builds, it will give us a barrier that is going to protect us from getting any damage. And on the top of that, whenever we will be spamming our primary attack, that is the arc lash, it will also use some of the skills and abilities from our ultimate skill, unstable current, so you can stay close and personal using your defensive ability that is going to give you the barrier, and it will also use some of your ultimate skills. That is the combination here with the lightning arc lash build. So the first skill is going to be the arc lash, like I said, and the second one is going to be teleport. This skill is going to be a lifesaver for us. Whenever we get CC'd, we can use it and get that unstoppable when we need it. If you get stunned, you can use it. If you get freeze, you can use it and you can instantly get away, and it will also give you the barrier. So the first skill is going to be the teleport. The second skill is going to be Frost Nova. We can instantly freeze enemies, make them vulnerable, and vulnerable enemies take a lot more damage. And then we are using the ice armor for extra protection. This is really good. And then we have the flame shield here. It has the immune as well. While your flame shield is active, you are immune to everything, basically giving you the immune to the damage and unstoppable as well. So this is again really good in the end game. And then we have the unstable currents as a ultimate skill here. And now we are going to dive into the abilities. I will explain everything. We will go into effects and the aspects as well, but start with the tree here, how to spend our points. And we will be spending 58 points here, so you need to do your renown as well for this end game build. Starting with our first skill, that's going to be the arc lash. We will spend 5 points here because we will be spamming this and we want to do as much damage we can with our primary attack. And then we will go take the second node from the skill and go towards the one that hitting a stunned enemies with a arc lash reduce your cooldown. We will try and reduce the cooldown of our skills, and it will help with the ultimate skill as well. And then we are going to take the firebolt, just 1 point. We are using this as an enhancement slot that I will explain later why we are doing that, but we will be using this as a enchantment slot only. So if we go to the next tree here, that is going to be our core skills. We are spending 1 skill point for the charge bolts, and then we going for the enchanted charge bolt, and then we will take the destructive charge bolts here. Hitting an enemy with the charge bolt reduce their damage dealt. So this is going to be good in endgame. If we can reduce the damage of the enemies, that is going to be a huge help. And that is all we are spending there. And from a defensive skill tree here, we will be first off going with the teleport. We will go for the enchanted teleport, and then we will go with the shimmering teleport. Every time we use a teleport, there is going to be a 30% damage reduction for 3 seconds, and we will be spamming teleport a lot whenever we want and can have this 30% damage reduction, plus it will also give us a barrier that we will go into in a bit. So that is the first skill. And then we are going to spend 1 point here. Every lucky hit chance have up to 5% chance to reset our cooldown for one of the defensive skill, and we have all of the defensive abilities here, so this is going to be really nice when you're fighting a lot of monsters, and 1 point is enough, you don't need more. And then we are using 3 points in the glass cannon. Even though we are taking more damage, that is going to be fine. We have a lot of barrier to stay alive. And then we are going to pick up the ice armor, go for the next node, and take the one damage against vulnerable enemies, contribute 50% more to ice armor barrier. This is going to be again really good. And from here we will go and take a 1 point here on Frost Nova, and then go for the next node, and then we will take Frost Nova makes enemy vulnerable for 4 seconds, increase to 6 seconds against bosses. This is really good for a damage dealing skill. And then from the next tab here we are going 3 points for the precision magic. Your lucky hit chances increased by 15%. That is going to help reset some of the abilities with this here. And then we will go with you gain 1 damage reduction. This is only so we can go and get this here. Protection using a cooldown, grant 30% of your maximum life as a barrier. So that is how we are getting the barrier every time we use a cooldown ability, and you can just cycle between your abilities and keep getting the barrier up. And from the mastery skill tree, we are going with 1 point here, Ice Veil. Your barriers have 5% increased duration. You can go with something else for this point, but I personally went with the barrier. And then we are going 1 point here for the inner flames, just so we can reach the devouring blaze. You deal 30% increased critical strike damage against burning enemies. If they are also immobilized, this bonus is increased to 75%. Most of the time we will be dealing that 30% increased critical strike damage to the enemies, because all of our enemies will be on fire at all times because of the first skill that we took here and used it as a enchantment slot. And that is why we are going with 3 points here on this node. And then we are going to upgrade our ball lightning to maximum, go for the next node, and then we will take the wizard ball lightning. If an enemy is hit at least 4 times by a cast of ball lightning, a cracking energy is formed. If you pick this cracking energy from the ground, you will deal some additional damage to enemies around you. And then we are going for the next ultimate tree here, go all the way for the unstable currents, and then you can go like this. Hitting enemy with the shock skill increase your critical strike chance, and then you can go enemies deal 30% less damage for 5 seconds after being critically struck by your shock skills. And then you can go lucky hit with shock skills have up to 9% chance to get stunned, and when they will get stunned and we hit them with our lightning arc with this, the last node, it will give you some cool down for your skills and even your ultimate skill. And then from the key passive we are going with overflowing energy. Cracking energy hits 1 additional enemy. Each time cracking energy hits an enemy, your shock skills cooldown are reduced by 0.1 second, increased to 0.25% against the elites. And this is one of the key things in our builds that we have to use so we can get our cools down a lot faster. So this is how the ability tree is going to look. And now for the enchantment slot, like I said, we are using 1 firebolt here. All of our skills and even primary attacks will make enemies burn, so this is what we're using here. And for the second slot we are using the teleport. And why teleport? Because there is one unique item inside the game you can find that whenever you use a teleport, all the enemies around you will be pulled towards you and stunned. And you can also have this as a dodge skill, and the dodge skill is going to be that is our rage skill. So whenever you use a teleport here or a rage skill here, it will give you that 30% damage reduction and plus barrier. And this skill here, the raid is going to get a lot of cooldown reduction whenever you will hit the enemy, and we can just keep spamming the raid whenever we want. And you can just use a teleport, enemies will be pulled towards you and get stunned for 2-3 seconds, and it will also help you with some cooldown. So that is what we're using as a enchantment slots here, the firebolt and teleport enchantment here. And now let's go into the aspects and what you should be using for your pieces. You should able to see all the information on your screen. That is going to be much better than me spending a lot of time explaining everything, and you can see everything that you need on each gear piece, and there is going to be information about the aspect to Paragon itself. I am still experimenting with that, and once I learn a bit more, I will be sharing that as well. So hopefully this video was helpful. I tried and kept this simple. If you want to see some gameplay, I have posted some stronghold videos using this build. We have a lot of barriers, and it's a lot of fun to stay close and personal and destroy everything while your electrocute skill cover the whole screen. Anyways, signing off. See you guys in the next one. Till then, as always, have fun and take care.